Hello and a huge welcome to this video. I'm Scorpion from How to Do, and in this video we will be learning how to make a character switch system like you see in GTA. So it will be something like this. So when we hold the space or any button, this thing will pop out and we can select between the characters. Like we are now Michael, right? So this is Michael, and I have three characters like GTA. So I have Michael, I have Franklin, and I also have Trevor. So now we are like by default we are Michael, so we cannot select Michael. We can either select Franklin or we can select Trevor. Let me just go ahead and select Trevor. So there we go. Now we are Trevor, we can control it, and there is no Michael anywhere, right? So we can enable and disable and spawn and delete these guys on our will. So now we can also again change to let's say Franklin, and he's gonna spawn anywhere in there. Okay, he spawned there. So now we can select Trevor and Franklin and move with Franklin. So yeah, let's get started. So now we are Franklin, and we cannot select Franklin. We can either select Michael or Trevor. All right, we cannot select Franklin because we are now Franklin. So then let's get started. Let's see how to make it. It will be really easy and really cool. So let me just go to the tutorial scene, and yeah, I think I'll save it. And this is basically the same scene. Alright, so before we get started, I want to tell you guys, if you want to learn how to make a third person character like this one, like third person character movement, like simple like this one, he can move around, he can look around, and it will move according to that camera facing area. So if you want to learn this, you can go ahead and click the link in the description box below, and you will find this video. Let me just quickly find it out over here. So I made a whole lot of tutorial series, like I made how to make GTA in Unity, and yeah, this is the movement system, then this is the running system, and then the car exit and enter, the car mesh change, and NPC and weapons and all that. But I made a separate video on how to make a simple third person character system, so in there you will be able to see learn how to make this. Come on, like this one. Alright, it's kind of the same, so you can also add a running, and yeah, you can also walk around and do that. So the link to this will be in the description box below, so you will have to watch this. Alright, and after you will do that, you will be able to make this. Alright, next thing, what I have here, I have three characters. One is Michael, one is Franklin. Alright, and he is in the same spot right now. There we go, there's Franklin, and also there is Trevor, and all of them are on the same spot. So if you want to download these guys, the links will be in the description box below, so you can just simply download them. And yeah, and then you also will have to rig these characters, because they are not by default rigged, they are just 3D models. So in order to rig and animate your character in just a minute, then you should watch this video, how to rig your character in 2 minutes, simplest way. And yeah, you will be able to rig any character you can just in a minute. Right, so the link will be in the description box below for this one also. So then you should be able to do that. Okay, now what you need to do is what I did is, first I went ahead and sorry, I went ahead and made Michael full body plus the camera base, which is just a camera base over here, and in which there is a camera over here. All right, so this is the pivot for the camera, and camera can rotate like this. All right, so this is the pivot for the camera, so camera is inside this base, and I dragged both of them, so the camera base and Michael full body, in which the FSM and the animator is, and I dragged them inside an empty object, so that we can control both the camera uh, and the character. All right, so then let me just do that again. Okay, and then what I did is I duplicated Michael, so Control D, like that, and then instead of Michael I just changed it into Franklin. If you want to learn how to change the mesh of your character, then you can again come in here. The link again will be in the description box below, and this one is there. So I also made a tutorial series on how to make character switch system in Unity for Android. So I made this guy for Android. So in this video you will be able to change this robot, alright, this robot into Michael, this one. Let me just quickly show you guys. So here is the same Michael. Yeah, the link will be in the description box below as always. So there is Michael, and this robot will be changed into Michael. So it's a small video, you have to just see it, and it's not that difficult. You just have to place these guys and copy the components and paste them in there. And I also have the same thing. So there's the camera base and there's the player, and you have to just drag them inside a player setup. So I did the same thing. So after that, you should be able to change these characters into different characters. Like I made Michael, I also made the same guy, just it looks different. It's the same guy, right? Just the looks are different because he is Franklin now, alright? So then what you need to do is, yeah, that is that. Then what I think what we should do is we should delete all of these, and also, okay, now what you need to do is you need to take these 3D models of different characters. Like in my case they are Franklin and Trevor. So I'm gonna take Franklin and put him anywhere in my scene. In your case it can be a city, it can be anywhere, so I'm gonna just put Franklin over here, alright? And then I'm gonna take Trevor, and Trevor will travel over here. Trevor will travel over here, yeah. That was joke. Stupid joke. Okay, so this is Michael, this is Franklin, and this is Trevor, alright? So we should be able to switch between them like that, alright? So how we do that is the camera base will remain the same, alright, for everyone. But it won't work for you because what I did is I went ahead, and this is the camera follow, alright? So if you have seen my video on how to make third-person character, you will know what this follow thing is. This is the follow thing that the camera base follows, alright? So the camera base and the follow are on the same place. So the camera base will, whenever the follow will come over here, camera base will also come over here, alright? So the camera base will follow the follow. Simple, right? But I went ahead and selected all the follows. So follow for the Michael, follow for the Franklin, I'll also follow for the Trevor, and I selected them and added a tag. So add tag, and added a plus over here and added a follow tag, and then I went ahead and added the follow tag to all the follows, alright? And then I went ahead to camera base and say edit. So if you don't know what this thing is, it is FSM. So if you don't know how to download it, the link will be also in the description box below. The newest version of Playmaker is over here, so you can come in this, how to make any game in Unity without writing any codes, and then you can simply download it from here. Yeah, if you can buy Playmaker, then you should. This is the asset store link, and then you can download a newer version of Playmaker for free from here, alright? So you can just download it, and you will be able to learn how to import it inside, and then you will be able to make this kind of a thing. Cool. Okay, then what I did is I went ahead and said find game object with a tag, and the tag we want is follow, alright? So whichever is enabled, like when Michael is enabled, Franklin and Trevor will be disabled. So the only follow will be this one with the tag follow. So the camera base will find this camera some game object with the tag follow, and then it will store it into a variable called game follow, camera follow, and then it will follow the camera follow. Okay, I think you understand if you know how to use Playmaker. Okay, alright, so now what we want to do is we want to go to Michael body, and this is the FSM which I made for the switch, alright? So it's simple FSM. This is for the movements. I just made a simplest FSM, so just 3 actions makes him move around and look around, alright? So this is the movement FSM, and this is the switch FSM. So I'm gonna go to edit, and the first start thing is this is for the wheel. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna tell you guys what the wheel is. It's this one, this wheel, and I'm gonna tell you guys how I did it, and you can also download it. I made it by myself, and I'm gonna tell you guys, but just a second before. Yeah, okay, so this is Michael. So what we did is we said get button down, which means hold any button. So when we hold a button, in my case I said jump, which is space. So you can go to edit, project settings, input, project settings, here's project settings, input, and I have all these axes, which means horizontal, vertical, and these are actually the controls. So I used jump, where is it, jump, and it is set as default to space. Alright, so you can just increase this number, like in my case it's 29, you can set it to 30, and as you can see the last one duplicates, and then you can set it to anything, you can rename it, you can also you know, just change everything in here. Alright, but I'm gonna set it to 29 because I don't want to add anything. I just wanted to do it quickly, so I added jump. So whenever we hold a button, that will be jump, send an event, and I set a new event and I made a change event, and whenever we hold the button space, it's gonna come in here. Alright, let me just quickly show you guys that it's working. So I'm gonna play the game, and I'm gonna go to here. So whenever I hold the space button, it goes in here. Alright, bam, 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 bam. Okay, so it's working. So what we do is we set the time scale. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you later because this slows down the time. Alright, and this is also for the wheel, also for the wheel, also for the wheel. So only thing we do now is for the jump. Alright, so whenever we hold space, we are going to come in here. This is also for the wheel, 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 and wheel. Okay, so it's gonna go ahead and set the time to slow. Alright, this is gonna slow down the time. So whenever we hold down space, it's gonna slow down the time. And then again we want to come out of it, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and come in here and say get button up. The same one, get button up, means when we release a button. So whenever we release the button, then okay, it's already there, sorry, get button up is already there. So jump, whenever we release the jump button, which is space, so we are gonna come back or over here. Alright, and the time will become 1. Okay, I think you're not understanding it, so let me just go ahead and deep. So what I did is I set the time scale, which is the time, to 1. Alright, so this is the normal time, and when we hold down space, we come over here and I set the time scale to 0.02, which means the time slows down. Alright, so time is okay, time slows down. So whenever we release the space, it's gonna come in here and here. Cool, right? Okay, then what I do is I made this thing, this canvas, so this wheel. So what it actually is, I think I have it over here somewhere, switch wheel, yeah. So I have these guys over here, so I think you don't need these. There we go. So I have these 3, I made them on Photoshop. So this is for Franklin, this is for Michael, and this is for Trevor, and this is the background. So I added these guys over here and set them up, so it is like this is the wheel. Alright, so this is just this circle, and then inside that circle we have 3 images. So I just right clicked. Okay, I can just make it again for you guys. I'm gonna hide this guy. So what you have to do is you have to say right click, UI, and a canvas. Alright, and then what you have to do is you have to say right click and UI, and this time you have to add an image. Make sure you go to your canvas and set it to scale with screen size and enter your screen resolution. In my case it's 1920 by 1080. There we go. And now we can bring it over here. Sorry, this guy, this image, I'm gonna call it wheel. So you can, this guy, these 4 images will be in the description box below, so you can download these guys. I made them on Photoshop over here. And by the way, if you want to learn how to download Photoshop for free, or Adobe Illustrator for free, or Premiere Pro for free, or Audition for free, or Adobe Encoder for free, then you can leave some comments, then I surely will add a tutorial on how to download all of these for free because I have all of them for free. Yeah, Okay, so then what you have to do is you have to just drag and drop this guy in here so it looks something like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and make it bigger just like that so it's over there. uh, okay, match width or height. Okay, there we go. Cool, so it's over there. Alright, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and inside of this I'm gonna say right click UI and also an image. This one will be Franklin, and drag and drop Franklin in here. By the way, you have to select all of these and set them to sprite 2D and UI. Alright, and I have set them to 512 so that it's not a big of thing. Alright, okay, then you have to just drag and drop Franklin in there, and you can see the Franklin is over there. By the way, it's not as cool as it should be, so you have to just resize it. Alright, so resize it and match these guys. Okay, I think it's okay now. There we go, Franklin is there. Cool, and then we have to add the Michael. So I'm gonna just duplicate this and call this Michael. So Mike will be good enough, and drag and drop Mike in there. So as you can see, it's not by default, it's not so cool, so resize it again. And yeah, you have to just set them up like this. Alright, you get the point. Alright, so I'm gonna just do it quickly, and Trevor, yeah, just that, and drag that in, and this will be Trevor. So yeah, just have to do that, and I took some time and did the same thing over here, and now it looks like that. Okay, cool. And then what you have to do is you also have to say add component and add a button. Alright, so type in button, so button, and the first one, there we go. So now these all three of them are buttons. Cool. And then what you have to do is if we play the game now, you will notice that, look over there, so I can come over here, the color of this guy, something changes about it, right? This something changes a little bit, you can see, but we want to make it a little prominent. Alright, so how we do that is we select all of these and we set the normal color to and decrease the alpha. So I'm gonna set the normal color to this much so that it looks like it's not selected like now, and then the highlighted color should be okay, full. Cool. Okay, so now it should be working. So if we play now and we bring our mouse on top of it, they get highlighted. So yeah, that is working quite nicely. This is how I set up the Michael, Franklin, and these guys, this wheel. Alright, so now it's working, so that is cool. And yeah, that is all I did. Cool, and just delete that because I already have this one. Come back to Michael and switch. Cool, and after that what I did is I deactivated this wheel, so this one, this whole wheel. So if we deactivate it, all of this guy will disappear. And yeah, so when we hold space, I just copied this guy and paste it in here, and I enabled it from here. Alright, so when we don't hold the space button, it's disabled, and when we come in here, we enable it. Alright, so it's enabled. Cool. Now what we want to do is we want to come in here, and we want to say if now we are Michael, right? So let's we are now Michael, so this is Michael full body switch FSM. So what I want to do is I want to set what I did is I can show you guys what I did. I can just drag in Franklin, this guy, wheel inside of this is Franklin, this guy. Alright, so Franklin, I dragged it in just like this, and I said button set property, and then I set interactable to true. Alright, and I did the same thing for Michael, but I dragged it in, button set property and interactable, and set it to false, because I don't want to select Michael when I am Michael. Alright, you getting me? So I'm gonna go just quickly show you guys what it interactable and uninteractable means. If I play the game, then now Franklin is interactable, right? And Michael is not interactable. So if I set it to interactable like that, so now I can also select Michael, which I don't want. So if I set it to uninteractable like now, there we go, we cannot select Michael. So that is what I'm doing. Alright, so if I select Franklin and set it to uninteractable, I cannot select Franklin also. So this is how I did that thing. So we cannot select Michael right now, we can just select Franklin and Trevor. Alright, so as you can see, it's working. Cool. So that is what I did. So I went in ahead and come back to Michael, and I said that set Franklin to interactable and Mike to uninteractable, and then Trevor to interactable. Alright, and then I come in here and I said UI button on click event. So UI button, and there it is, on click event, and I said that, and I dragged in Franklin button inside of here. So just drag in Franklin button, there we go, and you have to go ahead and send an event. So say new event, and I said Frank, which means change to Frank, and it comes from here to this new state. Alright, and same goes for Trevor. Just copy that and add Trevor inside of here and add a new event Trevor, and that is that. Alright, so these two states are now complete. Now let's add these two states. So now you have to add a new state, and in there you want to go ahead and deactivate the wheel again. Alright, deactivate it. So now the wheel is deactivated because we don't want to see it again. We also want to set the time to 1, because otherwise the game will start to play in slow motion, because we don't need that. We're gonna set it back to time 1, and then what you have to do is ignore these, you don't want to do that, and you have to just activate the game object. In my case, I am I don't know what it's called. I'm switching to Franklin, so I am activating Franklin over here. So by the way, by default these two are deactivated, because we are now Michael, right? We are now Michael, so these two are deactivated. So when we change to Franklin, I want to activate Franklin. Cool. And then the next main thing you have to do is you have to set your follow tag. So Michael follow, and set the tag to untagged, because let me just quickly show you guys, you will understand. Alright, so you have to set the follow tag to untagged, because when we enable Franklin, the Franklin will be enabled, and there will be two follow objects with follow tags, right? Where is Franklin? There we go. So there will be two follow objects with follow tags. So we want the Michael one to be untagged, and the Franklin one, to which we are going to switch to be the one with the follow tag. Alright, and yeah, and then what we have to do is we have to send event to the camera base. I'm gonna tell you guys how we do that, and we're gonna wait for some time, and then we are gonna set the tag follow to again follow. Set this guy to again follow, because we are gonna use it again. If we want to switch back to Michael, we again want to do that. So make sure you set the tag to follow again, and then we say next frame event, and we come over here and deactivate the user owner, which is the Franklin. So Franklin will be deactivated and come back to the normal first state. So this is a whole cycle. Alright, okay, so the only thing now we have to do is we want to see where is how to send an event. Alright, to camera base. So we are sending an event to the camera base. So what is the event? This one. So what you have to do is you have to say right click, create a state. Alright, and say right click, add a global transition and a custom transition. You can make a new transition over here. So events, and add a event. I just added switch like this one, and you have to check this mark, because this is the check mark for global. Alright, so global means you can send events from other FSMs to the other FSMs. Alright, Okay, so add transition, add global transition, and you can see your global transitions over here. So mine is switched, so right click, add global transition, switched, and it's already there, so I'm not gonna do it again. And then in the normal FSM, in the normal switch, what you do is you have to say find game object with the follow and just move towards it with the finish distance to be 0 and mouse look, which helps us look around with the mouse. All right, and that is that. So what we do now is we move the camera base towards a camera up game object, and it is actually just a game object that is that up. All right, it can be anywhere. Where's camera up? Where is it? Here we go. So you can it can be anywhere. I just made it a little up. I can put it over here somewhere. It will just help our camera move up and then transition to wherever he wants. Like if we want to Trevor, or yeah, it is Franklin, so then he can come to Franklin just like that smoothly. All right, otherwise you can just bring it over here so he can just go straight to that, but I wanted to make it like go up and then down. Okay, so we want our camera to move towards up, and then smooth look at the camera move up, which means the camera will look towards this thing, so it will also give a cool impression. Let me just quickly show you guys what I mean. So if I come in here and I go to Franklin, as you can see, sorry, the camera moves up and looks at this, so the camera direction is now that, and then from there he looks to the Franklin, so now he's looking at Franklin, so it gives a really cool effect. And there we go, now we are Franklin. Cool, so that will give you a simple but cool effect. So move towards and also smooth look at that, and you have to set the finished distance to 1, which means when it is 1 centimeter or 1 meter or 1 unit away from the target, which is this one, it's gonna transition to new event. And I said already, which is just a stupid name, but I just added that, and come over here, and in this state you just have to copy all of this and this, copy it, paste it in here, and just make the finish distance to 1 instead of 0. As you can see, it's 0 over here, it's 1. And I also increased the speed so that the transition is little faster. I also added the speed over here. Just copy these values, or if you want you can tweak these values on your own, and I just did the same thing. So 1 and already, so it's 1 and already, and it comes over here. What these things actually do is it finds the game object with the follow tag. So this follow tag will be untagged, and the Franklin follow tag, or the one which is now spawned or activated, will have the follow tag, and the camera will follow that follow game object, not the one which we were right now. And then it comes over here, and now it does the same thing. So let me just quickly show you guys how the FSM looks. So when the game starts, this FSM state should be executing. So there we go. And let me just quickly make it smaller and bring it up. So if I hold space and if I press that, you can see now it's in this state and this state, and then now it's this state. So cool, right? And of course we can change it from here. So this state, and this state. So this is how we change between states, and then we just have to call this state. So come over here and say edit, and we have to say send event, send game object with FSM, specify the game object, and it is the camera base, so drag and drop the camera base in here, and the FSM is FSM, so the name of the FSM, in my case it is FSM over here, FSM. Cool. And then yeah, just the global event in it will be switched because I added the switched, and that is that. So wait for time and come over here, set the tag, deactivate yourself, come back. And the same goes for Trevor. So you just have to copy this thing and paste it in here and change the this Franklin to Trevor. All right, and yeah, that will be that. Just ignore these because I was just testing these out. You don't need to have to do anything over here. So that is that. So now what you have to do is you have to copy this FSM and go to each of the player, like Franklin, paste it in here and change the values. Like you have to change like make this interactable, make this uninteractable and these two interactable, and then you have to disable and enable different things in here. And one thing you have to make sure is that you set the follow of your own follow, not the previous follow of the Michael. All right, and yeah, everything will be same, and yeah, that is that. Same goes for Trevor, same goes for Franklin, and that will be, I guess, that. This is the character switch system with this cool awesome thing over here. And yeah, that is that. And I think in the next video I will make a what is it called, a shop, like for, there we go, there's Trevor, and then there is Michael again at the same position. And when the map is little too big, it will be really cool, like the map of if there is a whole big city out here, then the camera will zoom out and it will look really cool. So camera will zoom out like, oh, it's not the camera. Where's camera? So camera will zoom out and it will look really cool, like bam, it goes to Franklin and then it goes back to Michael, and it looked really cool, right? It should look really cool when it's a big city and a big map. All right, so that will be it for today's video. In the next video I think I will add a shop for the clothes and all that, so you can change your clothes, you can change your boots, you can add a hat over here or cap or anything. And in the next video I think I will also add a weapon shop, so you can shop or buy weapons and all that stuff. If you liked my video, then please make sure to like my video. And if you want, you can support me through PayPal. The link will be in the description box below. You can also yeah, you can also subscribe to my channel. Yeah, that will be really cool. And yeah, that is that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, be cool.